It's dangerous though, right? Like, I've tripped a few times, and my friends have tripped a few times heading home. The curbs here are much bigger, especially when you've had a few drinks. You're not really observing, you're kind of just going off memory, and you're like, okay, that curb was small. Listen to music with your pint and your hot dog, and then all of a sudden, whack, and you're on the floor, and then you get home, and you've got like bleeding arms, or you know, cuts.
Did you get in a fight? No, just the curb was lower than I thought.
Curbs, damn you.
Hello everyone, Amadeus here, and today with a new video to introduce you Phil. So there's a story about a guy who moved from cold and rainy country to the city that is dry and hot, and how he got here. The Taiwanese government, I think, is backing it up, but he's sending lots of young and good-looking Taiwanese students abroad, and later they alert foreigners to Taiwan, and well, that's why we have Phil here with us. Is that right?
Yeah, kind of, I guess, I suppose.
So what's your story? How did you end up in Taiwan?
A bit of a lucky story, to be honest, okay. I would say. So I was just studying in the UK, and I didn't go to university straight after college, so I kind of like took my time, and I was just going around the city and enjoying stuff, and then I went to a Korean restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And that happened to be where my now wife was working.
What was she doing in a Korean restaurant?
Anywhere, like, so if you're an Asian person and you're in an Asian restaurant, then they will just grab you anyway, and you know,
it's better for the image.
Once you have an Asian restaurant in a Western city, you'll get a variety of Asian people. So I think if they've got different staff that can speak different languages, then it helps them for their customers.
That's actually smart.
You see. And also they had, my missus says that they had, you know, the Taiwanese drink machine, where you put the drink in and it seals the top. Yeah. I didn't realize it was a Taiwanese invention. Okay. So when they hired her, they said, oh, of course you're Taiwanese, so you'll know how to use our seal machine. And she was like, I've never used one, but I could probably use my brain to figure it out. So she ended up being on the drinks machines and other bits and pieces.
I see.
But yeah, she was there, and I asked for her number, and we kind of went for a couple of dates. I thought we hit it off, but she told me at the end of the second date. So we went on 2 dates, had a meal, walked around the city, went to a museum, and then at the end of the second date, she turned around to me and said, oh, I only really understood like 50% of what you have been saying. She said, I understand American accents, and you know, like, I guess Northern British accents we speak so much faster. So I think when you feel comfortable or awkward, like, I have to stop myself from just blah 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 blah. Yeah. So I guess back then, nervous and the first time that you're getting to know somebody. So yeah, I was just blah 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 blah.
50% is enough.
I mean, I guess so. It works, right?
So it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter that much what you say. You see, that's a dating advice. So like you lived in Taiwan for like 6 years or 7, like last year, right?
Yeah, I said I would come to Taiwan to give it a try. So I did my CELTA certificate over the summer. And I thought, okay, that's fine, I can come and get a job teaching. We came and traveled a little bit around Taiwan because we didn't know where we wanted to be. So my wife's family is here in Kaohsiung, but we wanted to travel to like Taipei, we went to Taichung, just to give it a feel. We even went to like Bangkok and, you know, places like that, just as alternates for where we would be. But in the end, I just really liked it here. I came to Kaohsiung. I thought it was way better than Taipei because the capital cities have like a fake feel to them. I feel you don't really get like the true Taiwanese spirit in Taipei in a way, because it's so everyone's business. There's so many tourists. Everyone's traveling around. You kind of like it's the same as London and Paris, Warsaw. You know, it's all the same. They're so different. But Kaohsiung is. I feel like it's more relaxed. The people are a bit more friendly. Nobody's in as much of a rush. And I just really didn't like Taichung. I had a bad experience in Taichung.
Because they don't have beaches there.
No beaches.
But what happened in Taichung?
It was my fault. Okay. I kind of, I was allowed to book the hotel. And I booked an absolute terrible place. Terrible place. In fact, I wrote a review on I think it was bookings.com, and I rarely write reviews.
Okay.
And there was mites and lice in all the bed sheets. The furniture was mixed matched. Some of it was just like plastic chairs and plastic tables. The key was on like a big wooden block like this, and they wouldn't let you take it out of the hotel. You had to hand it in when you were going past reception.
Wow.
Like they didn't trust you. We're pretty sure when we were out that somebody had been in our room, like even though we were gone for about an hour in the afternoon. The weather was miserable. It was a cold snap about 7 years ago.
Okay.
Really, really cold, and it was just a horrible experience.
I see. I'm sorry for that.
So yeah, that just put me. I think maybe now everybody says I'm going to Taichung, and I'm always like, oh my goodness, and maybe I need to go back and.
Yeah, I think you have to redo it. You know, there are still like nice things about Taichung.
Yeah, sorry if anybody's watching from Taichung and they're like, oh my god, like you haven't given us a proper shot.
Invite you. No, you go to our place. It's gonna be nicer. You know, you're gonna get like 20 invites next week. Yeah. No, Taichung's not that bad really.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what was the selling point for you, like, to move to Taiwan from the UK?
Just the missus, really. That was it. Like, I'd always wanted to travel a bit more, and I hadn't traveled as much when I was younger, because I'm quite family orientated. So, and my dad was sick quite a bit, like in his late 40s and 50s. So it kind of brought the family together in that we always had to be quite close. And then it's only really the last maybe like 15 years or so that my dad had improved, and then I kind of got myself sorted and organized on what I wanted to do. Like I spent most of my 20s kind of in an abyss of not knowing. So yeah, I decided what I wanted to do. I got my degree, I got my CELTA, and then yeah, I thought, why not give it a try? You know, you've got to take risks, and you've got to kind of try and have some fun in life, because you've no idea whether there's another chance, right?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's you know, like, I was actually worried if I you know, like, I was like about to choose either like go to university, I mean finish my do master in Italy, but I've already been to Italy, you know, and I've been to, like, you know, living in Southern Europe already, you know, so like why don't you just, you know, fly to Hong Kong and see what's going on, you know? Yeah, like it's like a risk, but you know, at the end of the day, it's actually a great choice.
I think a lot of people as well, like if you go to Thailand or other places like that, you get like a lot of people that are in their like mid 50s or 60s, and then they've experienced this mentality change of, I have to get out, I have to see the world, I've not seen enough, I've not experienced enough. But by then, you've missed that whole chance to have a life that involves travel and
that's what I think, actually, because like, you know, you never see it from the other side. You never thought that you actually can, you know, ride a scooter instead of driving a car, like always. You never thought it might be no winter. You never thought it might be no snow in the winter. Like, you're just used to those things, like, every day, and then you like go somewhere else, and like, no, there is no milk, there is no cheese in this country, and just people, you know, live their lives, you know. How about the food? Do you think a foreigner can used to have food in Taiwan?
I think they can, but unfortunately not me.
Really?
It's weird because I guess everyone knows that the UK is quite close to Hong Kong, so a lot of Hong Kongese people will move over to the UK, and a lot of our like fish and chips and food places, it was a massive thing. A lot of like Cantonese people would come over and they would set up and they would buy these fish and chip shops, and they would have the traditional British menu, and they'd also add in like a lot of Cantonese food. So before I came here, obviously we're all very used to a mixture of Chinese food, but I was always a huge fan of like sweet and sour. Sweet and sour chicken, sweet and sour pork, sweet and sour shrimp. And then when I got here, everyone said, well, actually sweet and sour isn't a very big thing here. And I was like, how can that be missing when you are so close, like in culture, location, you know, Hong Kong is not that far away. How? And then I've been to
the same big family.
Yeah, exactly. I've been to like 1 or 2 Cantonese restaurants in Kaohsiung, and they're more expensive than the UK for what you get.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's more expensive. I guess because it's like a foreign import and it's a niche thing. But that shocks me because before I came here, fried rice and sweet and sour were my 2 go-to food. And then as soon as I got here and they said, there is pretty much no sweet and sour, I was like, uh-oh, I have problems.
You see lots of Union Jacks around Taiwan, right?
I do. Crazy, right? I don't and then half the people don't really understand like what it is, because I've had students a load of times and they'll have like a t-shirt on, or they've got the pencil case open, or anything like little kind of like fake tattoos, stickers,
like a Big Ben.
Yeah, like nice, and they look at the shirt like confused. What you're saying? I'm like, oh, you have my country's flag on your t-shirt. I'm like, Ingo, like, and then they go, oh, okay, and then look at me like, oh, okay. But yeah, everywhere, like bicycle helmets. I saw somebody's like, I know minis, like minis are often with the Union Jack. This person had an SUV, and they just had like a custom Union Jack painted over the SUV, and I was like, that's insane. Like, I don't see this many Union Jacks in the UK, right? Unless it's like a monarch's
like you have to go there
died, or the Queen's gone, or the new king, then everyone's got the flags, or the World Cup, or the Olympics.
In Taiwan, sometimes they have a registration plate, and they put like a frame that looks like a European one, with the stars and name of the country. So if they buy the German car, they would put a frame with like EU flag and like D, like a Deutschland. But one time I saw a guy had a car with like the European Union flag and then USA. That was like the weirdest thing I ever saw. But yeah, pretty cool. Like it's like we live like in a global village, right?
Everybody uses a scooter, right? And it's a bit weird, right? That was one thing that surprised me when I came here. It was last Sunday, and my friend, he was getting rid of a TV, and I said, oh, I will take that TV. It was like a specialized, customized, like a TV in a box with like a laminated screen, so you could put it on a table and then put things on top.
Okay.
So he was getting a new one, so he was getting rid of this one. So it was like a 32-inch TV with like a wooden box sort of like that thick on the top and down the side. So it was pretty heavy. And then it wouldn't fit on the bike. My wife's bike, so it was heavy. It was really heavy, and I got to the street, and she said, "Okay, just stop. We can just get a taxi." And then it's like, "Taxi, please." Like nobody was stopping, and it was hot. I was getting a bit agitated, and I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna walk from the cultural center all the way to 1 km or so," which doesn't sound much, right? But with this huge big box and carrying, and it was 9 o'clock at night. So everybody's on the street taking their trash ready for the garbage. And I'm sure everybody just thought, oh, he's just taking this to the truck. And I'm just like, and I could only carry it for stretches of like 100 meters or so.
Like your arms are gonna hurt.
So it's like, stop, like put it on the floor, rest. And it's like the sweat is pouring off me like beads. And then I'm crossing the main road, so all the cars and stuff are just, I can see all these weird eyes. Like, what is he doing? And I got to my friends and was like, okay, it's here. And then I had to stop, and just air conditioning, fan blowing, just cool down a little bit. And I feel like that's maybe my anger at taxis kind of rolled over into that, because I had no confidence and no faith that if I stood there for 20 minutes, a taxi would stop. So I ended up just making a fool of myself walking all the way to my friends.
I can send you the promo code for Uber if you want. First ride for free. This is not a sponsor content.
When I walk home late at night from bars, and it's say 4 a.m, 5, and it's kind of funny because obviously I've had quite a few drinks, and I'm in usually a good mood, I'm getting a breath of fresh air, so I put my headphones in, I've got my music on loud, maybe I'll stop at the 7 and grab like 1 can for the road, so I'm kind of like walking back, my headphones in, kind of like bopping, sometimes maybe I'm just a little bit like dancing as I'm walking, with a beer in my hand, and everybody else is waking up and going for jogs around the park. You have like the old grandmas, in the park. Everyone's walking their dogs, and you just feel like some raver coming back home, and everyone's just giving you weird looks, right?
It's a cultural difference, I guess.
It's dangerous though, right? I've tripped a few times, and my friends have tripped a few times heading home just because we're a bit drunk, because the curbs here are much bigger.
This is actually, I have a question to the Taiwanese audience here, because this one I don't know. Okay, so imagine you have like the whole row of like 1 block of apartment buildings, or the front shops or something, Why is it normal that some of those places are 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters, higher, lower, like there is no regulation to just, hey guys, you know, we are neighbors, we live here together, let's agree on 20 centimeters from the street level, but then suddenly, no, I want 50, I want 0. And it's really like very tricky. I don't know, why is it this way?
Yeah, that is a bit crazy, and it catches me, right? Because especially when you've had a few drinks, you're not really observing, you're kind of just going off memory, and you're like, okay, that curb was small, so I'm sure it's going to be the same as you're listening to music with your pint and your hot dog, and then all of a sudden, whack, and you're on the floor, and then you get home, and you've got like bleeding arms, or, you know, cuts.
Did you get in a fight? No, just the curb was lower than I thought.
Curbs, damn you! Yeah.